Hey, what's up, and welcome back to another episode of Something Fishy. Today it is raining, as you can see, at the shop today. We are going to just tie some flies, might as well, right? On a rainy day, can't fish. Motorcycle in the rain isn't too fun to ride, so yeah, let's do that. Let's tie some flies. All right, so if you haven't already, please subscribe. Let's get to it. All right, so let's get it going. Let's tie this fly up. So we're gonna tie a very large streamer fly for peacock bass, and then also I can use it for like trevally and stuff like that. Some reef predators out in Hawaii. So we're gonna start with a B10S 5/0 hooks. Those are by Gamakatsu. We will be using a fish mask by Fish Skull here. These are the larger ones, I believe. This is for medium-sized streamers. I don't know. I think this is the largest mask, but either way. And we'll top that off with a Dead Meat Customs eyes. Those are pretty badass eyes. Great website or Facebook page. You gotta contact a guy. It takes months to get your order. He's that far behind. He's doing it all by hand by himself. Maybe just him and his wife. All right, so what this fly is going to be made of, feathers wise, and fur. We're going to start off with some hackle. We're going to lay a couple of these down for like the body and the tail. These are a woolly bugger, hackle, and chartreuse. And also, next we'll add a little bit of undercoat for the body. This will be some marabou in white and olive. And then on top of that, well, actually before that, then we'll be throwing in some polar flash. And this is going to give us some flash to the body. And then we'll top it off with some bucktail in white and in olive. Alright, so first off we're going to put our hook in the vise. I use the Renzetti Traveler rotary vise. Great vise. If you're deciding what vise to get, this is a good one, definitely. Alright, so I'll be using UTC 210 denier thread in black. It doesn't really matter on the color, but just I got a bunch of black, and so I use a lot. Secure your line down real quick and run your thread all the way back until it starts to turn. And then I run it back. Alright, so now we're going to put some of this hackle down. This is the first part of this fly. We just want some kind of large ones. This one doesn't have much left on it, but we'll use what we got. Got two pieces here. I want to rip off some of the fluffy fur part here, so I can reveal some of the stem to tie down. I'm going to see which one's the shortest here and use that one to tie in first, so I don't make one too much shorter than the other by mistake. So I just lay it down on the side. Secure it into place, just about like that. And now now what I did is I faced that one out to the left side. Now I'm going to face this one out on the other side with how it's more sharp in color. This side's kind of dull. Face those outwards so you get a little more coloration showing to the fish. Now this is going to get tore up pretty fast. You can use synthetics for this and it'll last a lot longer. You can even add some more feathers, but I'm doing just 2. I'm okay with that. All right, that's secure into place, just like I like it. All right, so now we're just gonna add a little bit of undercoat, basically. It's gonna add a little more body to the fly, and that will be some marabou. Let's see. I want a nice piece, but not, there we go, like that. So I want to put this nice little fluff of marabou green on top here, and I want to tie that in about like that, leaving enough room for our bucktail. Might have been too much room. That's all right. Secure that down. Now I got our green on top. Now we're going to put some white on the bottom for our belly. We're going to pretty much do the exact same thing like we did with the green, but just with some white. Find a piece that fits it nicely. There we go. That'll work. That's a little too thick. Let's thin that out a bit. There we go. I don't like putting too much on the belly here because you don't want to foul up the hooking area too much. But I just want to give a little bit more body to this fly. There we go. I'm just going to bring the thread back till it evens it up. There we go. Looking good. All right, we're liking that. All right, now we're going to put in some polar flash. We just need a little bit, just to add a little bit of that line, that reflective line on the fish. Just to reassure that predator that, yeah, it's alive, it's real. So we're going to get some of this polar flash. I got too much right here, but we want about 10 to 15 pieces. I'm going to cut a strip of about 10 to 15 pieces or so. Now you just want to lay it on the body. I like to lay it right in the middle there and let it protrude out about an inch past the back of the hook. Bring the thread up, secure it into place. Now I'm going to do the other side. Grab the polar flash, lay it down the body. Tie it into place. And now I want to trim it about the same length as the rest of them. There we go. All right. And now about halfway in between here and here, we're going to start laying down our bucktail. So we're going to do the green first. Let's get a nice straight piece. We want, let's see. There we go. Got about that much. Now I'm going to pull out a lot of the under fur get rid of all that stuff that's underneath. Let's see, all that stuff, get rid of all that. Makes a sloppy tie, and it later on can degrade your fly as you start coming out. Your thread will start being loose. So you definitely want to get rid of those little guys. There we go. So usually pull a little more than you think you need, because you're going to be pulling, 10% of that out. Alright, so we're going to try this in reverse. So we want it to face forward on the fly. And try to keep it on top side of the hook. There we go. Okay. Got that in there. Now let's get some of the white. And we just want a little bit less than that. We don't quite need that much as we did the top. So I got about that much. Pull out the underfur. Of course. Roll your fly over with your rotary vise. Now I'm going to make sure that this top green stays on the top of the hook. So roll it around if you have to. Alright, get your white and lay it on exactly the same. And keep it on the one side of the hook, so on the bottom side of the hook now. There you go. Do your best to organize it and pull the white down so you get that green on top, white on the bottom look. There we go. Really happy with that. Let's do a few more wraps just to kind of seal the rest of it up and have enough room to glue, because we want to be able to glue this down. Now you're going to use your whip finish because we're done tying. And I have one of these wide gap whip finish. Here's a short one. And here's a wide one. It's about 1.5 inches bigger. This one works great for flies like this where you have a bunch of bucktail sticking out the front. Trim it off, you're done with the thread. Now I want to put some super glue on that thread right there. So just a little dab where we tied it, let that soak in. Now while that's soaking in, we will start to split our hairs here. We want to separate the white from the green as best as possible. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's probably better if it's not perfect. Just like that. So then we're going to get one of our fish skull masks. And we're going to slide that over the hook and watch the magic happen here. And bloop. Got yourself a streamer. That fast. Alright. So now how I'd like to do this is use thick, hard solar res UV resin, and I basically put it around the inside of the mask here, closest to the edge, so that when I push it on, it starts smearing it all over the fur. Let's get this flowing. This container's just about empty. I got a new one recently, a big one. So, just been trying to use this one up first. All right, so you want to put it all around the inside lip of the mask. If you put it deep in the mask, it's just going to come out the hole. So if you put it where I put it, it stays inside the mask. All right, so this is important, in my opinion, when building this. So slide the mask on, and then adjust your bucktail to cover evenly and sit properly on there. And once it has, you can hit it with your UV light real quick. Boom. All right, so I locked that in place on this side. Now on this side, we're going to have to fix this here. Let's get this fur laid out nice. There we go. I like the way that looks. So we're just going to light that up just to hold that in place. All right, now we're going to make sure that this head is straight in every direction. If you have it to the side, it will start tracking to the side. So, I mean, that's a good thing if that's what you want. But I want it to be relatively straight on this fly. All right, let's hit it up with the UV here. There we go. I'll hit it up with that UV light a little more afterwards, because that takes a couple minutes to make sure it's fully locked into place. But now what I do is we're going to put some of our eyes on here. We're going to use a red eye with a large pupil. It's very contrasting with the green. And we want the pupil, if possible. This one really has a center pupil, so it doesn't really work. But if you have a pupil that's off to one side, put it facing backwards to give that, this is my opinion, but to give that look of like a fish is, you know, looking behind itself, running, swimming away from the animal trying to get them. Maybe that will entice that predator. I've got a little too much glue here. Just want to soak a little bit up. Put a little too much glue, it never dries. There we go. So these dead meat custom eyes, they don't have any kind of sticking to them. They come with like a backing, but it's more of just to like hold it in place for making the eye. There we go. Boom. And again, I feel like I put too much glue on there. You ever put too much glue on too much super glue on something, you try not to do that again. It's just a big fail all the way around. There we go. Pop that eye in there. There we go, boom. We got our big predator bait fish streamer ready for action. All right, I'm liking the way that one turned out. Beautiful. All right, thanks for joining me on this episode of Something Fishy. If you happen to enjoy it, please like it, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. All right, we'll catch you on the next one. Peace.